And welcome everybody to episode 34 of Comic Confidential, the weekly podcast where we bring you the week's comic related news, views and reviews. I'm your host Kade, and with me as always, my partner in rhyme, Troy.
Hello.
How are you?
Good.
And ready to rock the mic again is Amy.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh, you guys aren't amped up at all.
Oh, look.
Sorry.
I'm ready to rhyme.
I'm your
apparently.
hype man,
You
and
need
you
to
just
finish every sentence in a rhyme now for the whole show.
Okay, that's great. I fucked it already.
Oh man.
Oh well. There goes that idea.
I've never claimed to be a rapper. How is everyone?
I'm
Great.
fantastic.
Yeah.
It's Friday, man.
It is Friday. If everyone out there listening
I mean,
on Sunday
if
or
you're
whatever.
listening, this is Sunday.
We're in the past.
Or
Are we in the future?
Well, no.
no, it can't be.
No.
That
no,
makes
we
no
are.
sense.
Okay.
So anyway, let's get going. Let's get cracking. So I wanted to get your guys' opinions on a few things, right? Because I think it was last week, it might have been the week before that, Chris Pratt came out and he said that he was very, very keen to get his Star-Lord meeting the Punisher, which got me thinking about some crazy team-ups.
Some crazy team ups?
Some crazy team-ups. Because when you think about Star-Lord and Punisher, that's kind of about as out there as you can get.
Yeah, pretty
It's
crazy.
almost polar opposites.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I don't even know how they would meet, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But Chris Pratt seemed pretty keen to make it happen. Never going to happen. So forget about that.
Yeah.
But
But
some
if it
crazy
were-
team-ups. What are some crazy team-ups you guys would like to see?
Mine's not so crazy. Mine's is pretty much as generic as you can get.
Yeah.
It would be Spider-Man and Deadpool.
Yeah. So even are we talking current Marvel continuity like Spider-Man?
Yes.
So 16-year-old kid?
Yep.
Even?
Yep.
Okay.
I want it
I
to
don't know,
be
how does that
completely
work?
inappropriate.
How does that work on a rating scale?
Yeah, that would have to be at least a PG-13. And then it's cut in parts and it says, cover your eyes here, children.
They just have glasses that automatically shade out their eyes.
Yeah.
Well, I think they used to, not the glasses, but I think they used to have, back in the day, in the cinema, I think they used to have things where it was like a warning that would quickly flash up in horror movies. And it'd be turn away now because shit's about to get real.
Really?
Yeah.
Back in the old Grindhouse days type of
No,
thing?
before that even, I think. I'm talking about Nosferatu and stuff like that,
Oh,
that
far
sort
out.
of time.
I'd love that
Because
stuff.
you've got to understand how crazy that sort of thing would have been for people of that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have been the 60s, even a few decades later. But either way, yeah, a little warning sort of saying, look away.
Yes, well, that's what I want in the Deadpool cross with Spider-Man movie.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
cool. That'd be a pretty good team up. What about you, Amy?
Well, I've just been stewing on it while we've been discussing. I think the Flash versus anyone would be way up there for me. But in my head, I was just thinking then Professor X.
With the Flash, just wheeling him around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Professor X in a wheelchair.
Yes.
Just drag racing people because
Yep.
the Flash is pushing it.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's correct.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I love that.
That's not bad at all.
Hmm.
That
Yeah,
is-
cross universe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See,
Yeah.
just changing it up, keeping shit real.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
What about you, sir?
I don't really have anything out there either. There's nothing crazy. I would like to see a Wolverine Hulk.
Yeah, that'll be good.
You guys would have seen the animated movie, I would assume.
Yes.
At
Yep.
some point. So a team up like that would be pretty cool. Give me a Hulk Superman. Make that happen, someone.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah,
Me?
Yeah.
make it happen,
Okay,
Cade.
okay.
You've been told.
I've been told.
But people out there in the world of Twitter and Facebook and whatnot, let us know what your favorite team up would be. Doesn't have to be conventional like a couple of those, but it can be as far out as you want, like a Star-Lord and a Punisher.
Yeah.
But yeah, let us know.
That'd be good.
Should we get into some news?
Let's do it.
Yes.
All right. First lot of news, and we're going to talk about this later, excitingly enough.
Fuck yeah.
But Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. is back. However, it does have a new time slot of US 10 p.m., which seems to have not done it any favors.
No, it hasn't. It's actually lost 500,000 viewers of its average.
Yes.
So do you think that's because people just straight up forgot or didn't know?
Yeah, I think there's probably a very good chance that people just didn't realize that it had changed. I think, and I don't want to get into it too much because we'll probably talk about it when we talk about the show, but it needed to go to a later time slot because of the content has changed, as we've seen, and it's no longer that, season one, happy, friendly, family time, 8:30 or 7:30 time slot that it was previously. And it can't be anymore.
No, not at all.
So hopefully it's just a one-off, because they did introduce Ghost Rider, spoiler alert, they introduced Ghost Rider, and that didn't really seem to help the ratings either. So
Yeah, I think it's just people absolutely did not know it was at that later time slot.
Yeah.
They probably tuned in at the normal time. It's like, what the fuck is this
Where's
shit?
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., motherfuckers?
Oh,
I don't want to
man.
watch the news.
Yeah, I've got the
Give me
time
something
wrong.
relevant.
This is Dancing with the Stars, probably, or something. Whatever
Yeah.
happens at 8:30 on TV.
I
Could
know.
be, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, okay. So hopefully it's just a one-off, but it's not looking good.
I'll actually be pretty interested to see what the web traffic was like for ABC.
Yeah.
To see if they had that 500,000 people go online to watch it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe.
stream it?
Yeah, they might have streamed it. ABC streams, doesn't it?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. We don't live in the States. So.
That is true. We don't. In case you haven't figured it out.
In case you haven't figured it out. Hey, Jurassic World 2, it's got a fucking massive budget. $260 million.
That is more money than most movies make domestically.
It's crazy. It's it's actually double that of Jurassic World 1.
And that movie was amazing.
You can't fault it.
No way.
I don't know if you two are being serious right now.
No, I loved it.
I'm being serious. Are you being serious?
I'm being 100% serious.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
If
right.
you hated that movie, you can just fuck off.
right
No,
off.
I didn't. No, don't get me wrong. I didn't hate it, but like to say that it was, the greatest thing ever and nothing wrong with it at all is probably a little bit of a stretch for me.
No,
As soon as the
I-
theme music played, I was in. I was like, yep.
That's all you need.
nostalgia just flowed over me.
Yep.
And it just covered your eyes in
Yeah.
a sweet, sweet
I
veil.
just ate
for the whole
popcorn
time.
and listened to that tune. Sweet, sweet tune.
Had the Vaseline effect on my eyes, just softened everything, made it beautiful.
Right.
Anyway.
It's not to say that the movie was bad by any stretch of the imagination. It was great. It made a shit ton of money, which is great, and it was obviously always going to get a sequel. At what point, though, do people stop fucking around with dinosaurs because they keep having these fucking problems?
Yes.
How many movies is that now? That's 4. So this will be 5. Fool me once, man. Fair enough. But fool me 5 fucking times, and you've just got a problem.
Yeah, considering, no, I have nothing to...
There's
I can't
no-
rebuttal that.
No response.
But it'll be interesting to see where they go with it, though. Obviously, Chris Pratt is back. I think he's already announced that. Yeah, I don't know about Bryce Dallas Howard or anybody else yet. I
hope
haven't
so.
heard anything. I hope so. She was good.
Good.
I want her to run around in heels again.
Because
it's really practical.
It's really smart.
Come on now. You would just fuck those things off and run in your bare feet.
You would.
You
Let's
would.
be
That's what
honest.
I'd do.
Yeah.
I'd ditch my heels straight
Well,
away.
unless you didn't want to stand in any dinosaur poo. Like that I can understand. Like you don't want that between your toes. It'll just be gross.
Well, you could just wear boots, mate.
Well, obviously she didn't have boots.
Because she's not practical.
Yeah.
I suppose. I suppose she's working at a theme park in the the grand scheme of things. It's a theme park. How often are you actually going to have to go trekking out in the wilderness?
Yeah, I don't want your reasonable explanations.
Whatever. Let's move on. What's the next story?
Well, news that I really, really enjoyed. The Walking Dead has been shunned for the 6th year in a row from the Emmys.
Yeah, 6 years straight.
How does that happen?
I don't know. Well, I can tell you why, but
Well,
But you'll
it's
be
a
wrong.
good thing you're not an Emmy friggin' judge.
Yeah,
too biased.
It's ridiculous. That show is fantastic. They've had like Leo dust sprinkled over them.
They have.
probably.
So their time is coming.
It is coming.
Their time is coming. Maybe after season 7 with the big thing that's about to happen,
Yes,
the big
that's
reveal.
right.
Who knows? Game of Thrones cleaned up.
Yeah.
Game of Thrones won some ridiculous record amount.
Can they break the record?
They did.
Make history?
Yeah,
Haven't they won an award in every category that it can?
I don't know.
Maybe that was the record.
I think that's
they
what
broke.
it was, wasn't it?
I don't know.
Oh, every category it can.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might have. I think it was the number as well. Like, I think they're... I don't even know. I'm just spitballing here, but I
Yeah.
think it was just the best Emmy show that ever happened ever for one particular
it's
series.
Game of Thrones featuring.
Yeah, featuring all these other pieces of shit
Yeah.
that might get an Emmy.
But in all honesty, I do find it weird because The Walking Dead has such a strong following that it never has even been nominated.
See, this is critics.
Well, see, but that's the thing. Like, is the show critically acclaimed? Like, it's very popular amongst fans.
Yeah.
Even fans have kind of said that the show's quality has declined over seasons. But like, I personally don't necessarily agree with that at all. But is it critically acclaimed?
Who knows?
Maybe.
Well, you can look.
Yeah, I can't. I have IMDb disabled on my computer.
Yeah, well, that's probably fair.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's move on. Chadwick Boseman has hinted that we might see previous Black Panthers in his solo movie.
You bloody want to hope so.
Well, how do you think that's going to work?
It'll obviously be explaining the origin of how it gets passed on.
Yeah.
So that's my guess. It's not my guess. It's my fact. I know it's right.
Okay, you heard it. You heard it here first,
The
folks.
hard facts.
So you think it's gonna basically just be a quick sort of origin story-ish type of thing?
Yeah.
So we'll get. Do you think Black Panther is going to be his origin story now, though, or do you think now that we've kind of seen him, do you think it'll be his movie with a little bit of brief backstory?
Yeah, just exactly that.
Okay, cool. Well, that'll be interesting to see, what they do with it, and how far back they go, and I'm really keen to see this movie. I think it's going to be great.
Man, it's going to be unreal.
Is it 2017?
Probably.
Yes. The answer is yes.
Definitely yes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's cool. Do you want to know something that isn't that cool?
I would love
Tell
to.
us.
There's been rumors going around of Eddie Murphy chasing roles in superhero movies.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know if he's chasing it, but people are raising the questions of would he take a role in a superhero movie?
Well, who is raising these questions?
Is it Eddie?
It could be.
Yeah, I think
he's going for a career revival.
I think Eddie's publicist has just gotten one of their mates and just hey, just put this on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just throw this up there. Eddie Murphy. Oh, what would that guy be in? If he was in a superhero movie.
Eddie Murphy to play
A stagehand.
Yes.
That would do.
The caterer.
Yeah.
No, but I have no idea who this guy could actually play.
Yeah, I've put zero thought to it because it's not something I ever thought would have ever really come up.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nothing is springing to mind.
Nothing.
Yeah.
The Nutty Professor.
Maybe.
Maybe he gets hit with some gamma radiation and it becomes a hulky professor. I don't know.
Yeah, who
I'm
knows?
just making stuff up. But yeah, that's
Is there any
probably
super-
the least bit of interesting news of the week.
Actually, he could be like Squirrel Man.
Oh my god.
Because, Dr. Doolittle.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
No, he
can control squirrels.
Crossover.
Yeah, what's the land version of Aquaman? Landman. Is it Landman?
Earthman.
Earthman.
Yeah.
Right. So he's Earthman and
man.
Man. Okay, he's Eddie
Man.
Murphy can play a man
Yeah.
in a superhero movie. There we
Great.
go. We solved it.
Well, moving away from that interesting tidbit, we got Supergirl Season 2 promos, and it features our first look at Tyler Hoechlin in action as the Man of Steel, and he doesn't look too shabby.
He doesn't.
He doesn't.
I knew it. I knew it.
You called it, Amy.
You did.
You bloody called it.
You heard it here first that one time that Amy said that thing.
Look at his butt.
Yeah, that's right.
But no, I thought it was really good.
It does actually look pretty good. I don't really like the fact that they're heavily promoting around him because I don't think that he is really going to be in the show that much based on everything that I've heard.
Yeah.
And it's kind of going to be a thing where, you build the hype and build the hype and build the hype and then it's kind of like 3 episodes and done and everyone's like, well, fucking what was that? You know what I mean? So Supergirl herself needs to be the focus. And I think in the promo that we're talking about, the focus wasn't really on her. It's her show, man. It's not Superman's show. So I think, we need to get the focus on Supergirl. I know that this is one of the main selling points for this season. I get it.
Yeah, it's just the hype man for this show.
Yeah.
Well, basically, that's a really good way to put it because there's, it's not his show.
No, that's right.
I just had a really interesting thought while we were talking about that. So Tyler Hoechlin has come over from Teen Wolf,
Yeah.
as we know. Teen Wolf is in its final season this month, coming out in October. Maybe it'll be a bit of a draw card for fans of Teen Wolf to move over to a new show.
Well, yeah, that could work
Is
really
Teen
well.
Wolf on the CW?
Ooh, yes? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
so.
question mark?
Yeah,
Obviously,
maybe.
we've researched our facts really well here. But that's probably a really good point. If that happens, if they continue him on throughout the show. Didn't he leave, though, Teen Wolf?
He did,
a
but
while ago?
only there's one season without him.
Oh, okay.
So he's not too far gone out of the memory.
Well, that's not too bad.
That actually makes me wonder if they'll push for a Superman series.
Do you think that'd be too much at the same time as Supergirl?
Yes,
Yeah?
I do.
Okay.
I think with the current schedule of the CW, when you're talking about Supergirl, Flash, Arrow, Legends of Tomorrow, all that sort of stuff, it's probably, chucking another one in there that could potentially sort of tie in with the whole thing. It's probably a bit too much.
Could be one of those off-season shows, though.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
but why would they do that?
It's all about that sweet bank.
Yeah, but you make sweet bank in peak period. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In that particular time. But I don't think that would be the smart move.
Anyway.
But that's just me. I'm
is
no
just you.
expert. You know who else is? No, there's no segue there whatsoever. But
Just do it.
That's a good one.
this is probably the most bizarre news to come out of the week, and for some reason, some DC fans have started a petition for Shia LaBeouf to be the Red Hood, and from all reports, it's gaining a little bit of traction.
This is ridiculous, man.
Eddie Murphy and Shia LaBeouf. Like, what?
Yeah, what's going on here?
DC fans, and I'm a DC fan, don't get me wrong, I'm a fan of everything, but a DC fan's like just getting to the point where they just, they're just like, let us fucking take control. Let us make the shit happen, and we'll take good care of it. But then they come up with this crazy stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
what are they effing thinking?
Maybe they're just seeing how far they can push it. Just being like, hey, here's an idea.
Again, it's Shia LaBeouf's publicist just like nudging like someone else. Hey, Tim, hey, how about you start this petition to get Shia LaBeouf as the Red Hood? Okay, question. Yes or no?
No effing way.
Definitely not.
Any reasons though? Like, you give the guy a chance, right?
No, I wouldn't. He doesn't even look the part. He looks like a scrubby, dirty
hippie
prick that you wouldn't want to sit next to.
Well,
At the movies, definitely not.
Like if he sat next to you in the cinema, you'd be like, oh, just get up and move a seat over.
Maybe like prime time Shia LaBeouf, like Transformers 1.
Nah, not even then.
I reckon he could pull it off just then, but definitely not
Has
now.
he done anything else though, other than Transformers 1 and probably maybe Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull that might make you think that he would be the right person? Like, am I missing something?
He did this movie about moonshine, about prohibition.
Oh, yeah, with Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I never
something.
saw it, but apparently he was okay in that.
Yeah, that movie was okay.
But I heard he
Disturbia.
cried a lot.
What's Disturbia?
Oh yeah, Disturbia wasn't
Disturbia
too
was a pretty
bad.
good movie.
That's where he's like trapped in his, not trapped in his house, but like under house arrest.
Yes, yeah, that's right. And his
Oh,
neighbour
is-
across
isn't
the
that
road
old?
is... Yeah, it
Yeah.
is.
Okay.
Hey, we
few
didn't say it
years
was
old.
recent, man.
Okay, no, that's fine.
But I thought that he acted very well in that movie, so maybe...
Look, no one's questioning his acting chops. I'm questioning his action chops.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no.
Which is the big difference here, because I know a lot of people have made a lot of transformations, for these movie roles and stuff like that. I just cannot see it happening with this kid. Got to get him to shave that ratty friggin' goatee off. No.
Man, he could play Splinter, like the human version of Splinter.
That's good.
Yeah, okay, I'll pay that. That's
Okay, let me put you on the spot here with a casting question that I know we all fucking hate.
Hey, I love these.
Yeah, who would you cast as a Red Hood?
Okay. I have previously said that kid.
Oh, the one with the arms and the legs.
Yeah,
And
that
the
guy.
hair.
Yeah,
And the
he's
hair.
got hair.
Yep.
From Supernatural, but not the older brother, the younger brother.
Oh,
Steve?
Jared Padalecki.
Yeah, him.
That's a good one.
Actually, that's
He's
a really
real
good
tall,
choice.
though.
yeah, and I think that is kind of like a fan favorite choice as well. But
Yep.
I do agree with it. There was another one that I thought of that has completely escaped me because you put me on the spot.
I
Amy.
really suck it on the spot. But we were talking before about Daniel Craig. And I was like, okay, that'll do. He can be Daniel Craig.
Daniel Craig.
Jesus Christ. So Daniel
He's older than Batman.
So older than Batman.
He is. Hey, I'm just telling you. It's my thoughts.
All right.
Yeah,
well,
Don't bring a
your,
brother down.
your thoughts are stupid.
No, I did like I did like the Jared Padalecki one.
I would want someone shorter in the role.
Yeah, he's tall.
Yeah, I'm thinking Tom Cruise.
Oh my God.
You had to go at me about old.
Yeah, but Tom Cruise looks young.
What is wrong with you people? You
No.
know we have like some sort of professional image to uphold at some point.
Not me, I'm a dickhead.
Well, no one
Hashtag I'm
ever
a
said
dickhead.
you weren't.
That's right.
Hashtag
Hashtag
I'm a
Kate's a
dickhead.
dickhead.
Okay. Hashtag that you go. That's probably one that'll take off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
good.
That might go off, actually. Hey, the CW, they're releasing an app so we can watch all our shows the very next day.
This is cool as shit,
Yes,
man.
and
Yep.
it's for free. And
For
it's
free.
legal, which is like a big thing, especially in Australia, because
Yeah.
a lot of the shows
Are harder to get.
harder to get. Yeah, sometimes you don't get all the shows, but you get 99.9% of them.
Spoiler alert, you have to have Foxtel, Netflix, Stan,
Some
Yeah.
other paid prescription.
streaming.
Costs you at least $100 a month to
Subscription.
watch all the TV shows.
Yeah.
It's almost that.
At the very least. Yeah, and there are some that you just cannot get. But that's a really good idea, man.
That is awesome. Now the advertising.
Can I ask you this though? I
Yes.
don't know how much you've researched it, but can I ask you this? is this available to Australians?
That was going to be my question.
That was what I was just about to answer in a roundabout way and not actually answer.
Oh, okay. That's
I
good.
like it.
Yeah. They're just passing it off. The advertising for it says available everywhere. So
Everywhere.
Includes Australia.
well, yeah, exactly. You know, you got to. Are they playing with us on this? Because it says available everywhere, and it shows about 20 different devices that you can watch this app on.
Right.
So there's Apple TV, all that type of rubbish.
Yep.
Does that also mean globally?
Yes.
I hope so.
So does it mean everywhere within the States? Or, yeah.
And it's not at the moment. And there was actually a date on the ad. I can't remember it for the life of me, but perhaps it's when that happens. It'll probably be when the shows actually come to air.
Yeah.
So-
oh, look, I hope so. That's like such a good initiative.
Yeah, it'll be fantastic.
And they will make a shit ton of money
Yep.
on advertising.
Oh,
on
so
that thing.
much.
For sure. For sure. Yeah, cool.
Okay.
That's good.
That is good.
Yeah.
Some other good news. Disney has announced that it plans for a Star Wars movie every year up to 2020
So far.
so far.
That's interesting.
Interesting.
Is it not like the coolest thing you've ever heard?
It can be cool, but it can also really work against it, man. These guys are just turning into a Star Wars factory, just pumping out
Star Wars.
Well, yeah, but it could be really mediocre stuff.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but you've got to kind of, the way you look at it, they're not necessarily, they don't mean like it's going to be Star Wars like 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, anything like that. Like they're talking about the anthology movies as well.
Yeah.
So, you know, we've got the young Han Solo movie coming. There's talks of like quite a few others and all that sort of stuff, which is great. I think it's good, man.
Oh, yeah.
I think as long as they don't start to like build up on each other. So as in, you know, you're not getting multiple Star Wars movies within the year. I think like one a year is good. And as long as the content is kind of completely different, because there is so much to this world that you don't get to see just from watching, you know, the 7 movies that are out so far.
Yeah,
Do you know what I
exactly.
mean? So it's such a massive universe that you could build off. So many, you know, different and intricate characters that you could build movies around. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
You're still holding out for that Jar Jar Binks movie, aren't you?
I am.
Man, that'd be
I
amazing.
started a petition to get Shia LaBeouf playing Jar Jar Binks.
No,
Yes.
there's an idea.
Yeah, the Star
an
Wars
idea.
anthology movie, Young
Man,
Jar Jar.
You could get the world's biggest dickhead playing the world's biggest dickhead.
Oh, it's like a match made in heaven.
Make that happen, Hollywood.
Works.
Hey, I've got some news that fucking has me super excited.
Yeah.
Go on.
We got our first kind of look at some old friends. And what I'm talking about here, you don't look too happy about this, Troy.
No.
No?
It's a very non-committal noise.
Yeah.
I'm
we
just
got
waiting to hear the big reveal.
Yeah, well, we got our first look at the new Power Ranger Dinozords.
Ah, the Zords.
Yeah, man. And you... have you seen the posters?
Yes, I've seen the posters.
Have you, Amy?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
did.
gosh, they're so good. And for those who don't know or have probably forgot, it's been about 20 years, I think. Zords are the giant robots that each individual ranger controls to help fight monsters, and then they join up to make a bigger monster.
I was just going to say, I have a memory in my
Monster.
head of like watching old school Power Rangers being like, yeah, join, let's go.
Yeah, and like they had like the
that was the lame,
What childhood did you have?
a crazy one.
obviously Troy didn't enjoy Power Rangers as
No.
much as we did.
I will remember that I would have been, you know,
At least
slightly
30.
older.
It was
You know.
last year.
But yeah, I think this is probably the first thing that I've seen that has really kind of made me get a little bit more excited for this movie. So yeah, the Zords, and then obviously they form the Megazord, which is what I'm more excited to see.
Yeah.
Because that's going to be the toughest thing to not look shit like,
yeah.
you know, the TV show, but also not like a Michael Bay Transformer.
Yeah.
That's going to be the toughest part for them to pull off.
I reckon we're going to get some Pacific Rim
Oh,
looking
yeah.
action going on here.
Bit of a Pacific Rim job.
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't want to say it.
Maybe. On that, though, they have actually cast Bill Hader as, what's that kid's name? Alpha 5. So their little, like, friend slash assistant slash buddy, old pal.
Yeah?
Does anyone care?
No.
Why does no one care about my friggin'...
We just talked about the friggin' Zords.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is Bill Hader. This is
Yeah, he's cool.
comedy gold right now. I think it's a great casting choice, and obviously it's just a voice,
Yeah.
which I think works really well.
You know what I'm really excited for this movie?
What?
I really, really hope they bring the Green Ranger in. I want him to be like the villain of the movie.
Do you think that's what will happen?
Yeah, it has to, man. I want to see him playing that little fucking flute.
Jesus Christ.
You've got real high expectations for this film.
Yeah,
Well,
absolutely.
I was actually, like, a question was posed to us on Twitter, like, how, like, do we think that they will bring in the Green Ranger? My thoughts were that they would do it, but they'd probably do it as a tease for the next movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Like
rather
end
than-
credits.
Yeah,
type?
sort of thing, like either end credits or post credits, something like that.
Yeah.
Because they need to build for the sequel, and they need to have something that people want to see for the sequel. So unless they bring in the green and then maybe they do white or something, like, who knows? Like, they could
Man, the
Kate's having
nostalgia's
trouble over
flowing
here.
over me again.
calm down, man.
This is like me at the Jurassic Park movie.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably how they'll do it. I think they'll bring it in as like a tease for the sequel.
You
This
know,
movie is going to make a shit ton of money.
it's going to make
no
so
matter
much
what
fucking
happens.
money. I'm going to go and watch it like 8 times. I'm
In
about
one
to,
day?
Yeah, in one day. I'm about to go watch like all the Power Ranger series on Netflix like right now. So you guys have to
Forgot
leave.
They were on Netflix.
Oh, is that to basically build, like, bring your expectations low?
No, it's going to like just make them higher.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, look, great. Good times ahead for friggin' Power Rangers fans, isn't it?
And that's going to bring us to the weekly wrap, the segment where we wrap up all the week's TV action.
No, the Teeks Weevee action.
Yeah, the Teeks Weevee action.
Yeah.
Which is 3 shows this week. Thank fuck.
Oh, how exciting is that?
So fucking exciting.
3 shows until 3 shows becomes 10 shows, and then it gets
And
tough
then
as
I
shit.
hide under the table.
and
then-
just cry.
yeah.
Lie
It's
down, try not to cry. Cry a lot.
But cry a lot, yeah. Anyway, we start this week with Fear the Walking Dead, Pillar Assault. Strand gets stabbed. Madison and Helena go on a road trip for drugs.
Ooh, it's the best type of road trip.
The only type of road trip.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And Nick starts to see the dark side of Alejandro.
Oh my God, man.
Alejandro.
Okay, so
Alejandro.
this is how you know that we don't really cut or edit, because we just let Cade's Spanish run.
Yeah.
His terrible, terrible Spanish.
Excuse me,
Moros.
I am fluent.
You are fluent in whatever that thing is that you
I'm
say.
fluent in butchering.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah.
That's very true. It's Alejandro. It's actually pretty fucking easy.
I'm pretty sure I said that.
Yeah, okay, you might have got close. Anyway, shall we talk about whose story do you want to talk about first? How Nick and Luciana. Or Luciana. Lucy. Nick and
Yeah,
Lucy.
Nick and Lucy.
Yeah. So, and I guess it probably makes sense to talk about this first, because this was essentially the cold open and how the show kicked off with Old Mate and his family just bailing on the colony or the colonia or whatever they call it.
Colonia. See, I can say that.
Yeah. Well,
La
there you go.
Colonia.
So, I guess my question is, why is he bailing? Like, what is so bad about this thing that he's just given up?
Yeah, that's a really good question, because this is obviously one side of this safe haven that we haven't seen.
Yeah.
And the old guy who's got the bite, name escapes me right at the moment.
Alejandro.
See?
I just fucking said it.
Nah, man, not me. Anyway, it appears that he's starting to crack.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be... He actually says in this episode, I never asked to be the boss.
Yeah.
So he has all this pressure on him. He can't handle it.
The weight of the world on his shoulders. One of his shoulders is fucked.
Yeah,
He got bitten.
He's got a bite on the titty.
Yep.
Damn.
Yeah, so I think there's obviously like an underlying sort of sense of bad.
Yes.
If I can put it that way.
The heebie-jeebies.
The heebie-jeebies, yeah, something's going to go wrong for sure. However, this is my other question for this whole... I got 2 questions just out of the cold open.
Oh, really?
This is great. My second question for the cold open is, this guy, because they say at a later date that he is one of their scouts and he's one of the people that takes the drugs to the shopping center or whatever, and all that
the
sort of
warehouse.
stuff. Yeah. How does this dude get caught so quickly?
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like,
You think
seriously.
he has some like back alleyways, because they do it in a way that they don't get caught or followed back.
Exactly. Yet this guy takes the most like out there way, crossing every major friggin' street you can cross.
Yeah.
And then as soon as he crosses a street, bam, there's a car and they see him. And you've got to question, Alejandro's leadership skills if these are the type of people that he's picking for his scouts, because this guy is useless as shit.
Yeah, you're correct on that one.
But anyway, I guess this is how the whole thing builds, because the whole thing is this guy, leaves, and then Alejandro kind of goes, well, what the fuck is happening? Like, why are these people leaving? And then Luciana's like, oh, well, we've still got to deliver the drugs. I'll go deliver the drugs. And he's like, oh, why? Do you want to leave me too? Like,
yeah, he's starting to get paranoid.
Yeah, getting very, very paranoid. Almost very sort of like dictator-ish. I think we'll find very shortly where this is headed.
Yeah. I think he's going to crack. We're going to see him possibly trying to muscle his way to the top again, in the sense that he's losing his leadership.
Right.
So his flock is fleeing.
So you think he'll kind of do a bit of a governor and kind of,
that's it. No more. You're stuck here type of thing. Yeah.
Well, it seems to be the way it's headed. Also, the way it's headed, thanks to the actions of said scout. Don't even know the guy's name. Old mate, daughter, and wife, lady.
Yeah.
Those three. So they get caught. They get tortured. Naturally, they give up the location of this place. Looks like it's probably going to lead to our first bit of people versus people war.
Yeah.
This is kind of what this whole thing is building to.
And I find it actually really surprising that this hasn't happened earlier.
Well, I find it the opposite. I find it surprising that it's happening so quickly, in the sense that, they haven't really done anything of any substance. And it's kind of like maybe they're just trying to force this thing now to kind of make some action.
Yeah, okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it does. You mean the story of the show?
Yeah, exactly. Which brings me to 2 points, I guess. One of them is when you're looking at this whole thing, their whole security is based around this wall of zombies. And that's pretty much the only thing that's stopping these bad guys from coming in, essentially. So they've got the whole thing barricaded, and then there's this wall of zombies that's stopping them from coming through. There seems to be a situation, though, in this particular environment where everybody knows how to cover themselves in zombie shit.
Well, actually, no. Because anytime they go to this warehouse, they've cleaned themselves up.
What do you mean?
Well, the people who are coming from the
Colonia.
Colonia, yeah. Anytime they go to deliver the drugs, they cover themselves in all the shit.
Yeah.
But by the time they get there, they've obviously washed it all off them.
Yeah, but my point is more, every single person seems to be doing it. So if every single person is doing it, it just seems like that in this particular location or whatever,
it's common
that's
knowledge.
Like the go-to move.
Yeah.
Because that's like, how else, like, surely they'd have to question, they've seen the wall. How do they get through the wall? Surely they would have figured it out. Like, if all these other people can figure it out, surely these bad dudes with guns can also figure it out. Like, it's obviously not that hard. It's everyone's fucking go-to move.
You would think so.
They do that more than they have a shower, I swear.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only other point I wanted to bring up on this particular storyline is Nick, and we haven't actually touched on Nick at all. Nick is starting to slowly question Alejandro's leadership a bit, I think. But it's more, do you feel that this whole storyline has been a complete waste of Nick so far? Because when you think about it, what has he done?
Yeah, no. He's learnt Spanish better than I have.
He has.
Yeah.
That's true.
It depends how they go with it, because Nick could almost become the leader of it.
Maybe, and maybe that's where it's headed.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel you on this, because it's kind of like, if they don't build from this, what was the point?
Yeah, I think based on the other storyline, which we'll get to in a sec, but based on the other storyline, I think they're kind of pushing everyone back together quite quickly.
Yep.
And I think that's kind of where it's going to lead, whether everyone bails on the hotel and they end up in the Colonia, or whether the Colonia gets overrun and people end up in the hotel. Something is happening quite quickly to bring them all together. I just think the whole storyline so far has been nothing. It's built to absolutely nothing so far. And it's been a bit of a waste of a character that I thought they were really going to try to build this whole sort of series around.
Yeah.
But they haven't done a really good job so far.
Anyway, do you want to move on to Madison, Strand, and Alicia?
Yeah.
Their story?
Yeah, why not?
Because it starts to glue together what's going on everywhere.
It does. This is the story that kind of brings everyone back together, sort of. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. So, things are looking good for the hotel group, except for Strand walks into a knife. I'm saying walks in. I'm standing up for this lady.
Well, yeah. Kind of just a random stabby.
Yeah.
So
just a little bit of shankaroonies going on.
So she kind of blames, this is the mother of Jessica, the lady, the daughter, whatever you want to call her.
Mother of the bride?
The bride.
Yeah.
So the bride was Jessica. That's who Strand killed, even though she was a zombie. It was her time. The mother, we'll call her Tiffany.
Yes.
Because I don't actually know what her name is. So Tiffany here has basically just completely lost her shit, and she now blames Strand more than she kind of blames Helena for the whole thing now.
Yeah.
She's kind of turned her attention to Strand because Strand actually killed Jessica. And it's like, you took my daughter from me. Boom, steak knife into the ribs. And he's in a bit of a bad way.
Now, this writing, I thought that was pretty... That was a really weak plot device.
Yes.
To me. Because she's gone. That's it. That's the last you see of Tiffany for this episode.
Yeah. She's locked in her room.
Yeah.
And Madison just basically stands up and says she has to fucking stay there. Otherwise, I'll get angry.
Yeah. And
which means shit, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Like
Who made you, boss bitch?
Yeah, exactly. And we'll get to more on that later. But it's very much true. It's very much a situation where they kind of just do it just to get that happening. And then they just piss her off into the background, and you're just like, okay, well, this is kind of what they had to do to get the pieces moving.
Yeah.
But then they do nothing with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know what they're going to do with it. Like, where is it going to go? The only thing I can really think is maybe that she will be the catalyst of some bigger, like...
revenge plot type of
No,
thing?
not even that. It's like she will do something ridiculously stupid, and that'll be the downfall of the hotel. And that's when they'll have to move on and hit the road.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that. I think Madison's going to be the downfall of this. She's starting to just make stupid, rash decisions.
Yeah, so this is the situation where Madison and Helena decide that they don't have the drugs necessary to save Strand and his knife wound. So they decide to get into a truck and go to said supermarket that everyone seems to go to. It's like the only fucking supermarket in Tijuana that just happens to coincidentally be, semi-controlled by her other son.
Yeah.
And it's like,
how many kids has this girl got?
Two.
Two?
And one of them just happens to be the guy that, kind of doesn't run shit, but, kind of seems to be relatively high up within this gang of people that are running
He's
this.
stock manager.
Yeah, he is stock
he had
manager.
his badge on.
He might be assistant stock manager. He mightn't be like right up there, but he's...
Too IC.
He's
too
working
IC.
his way up through the system.
Yeah, definitely. And good on him too.
Yeah,
He's
it's bloody
got his-
hard. It's hard to get somewhere in this zombie world.
It is. He seems to have his head on straight for now. But I just think, like, I mean, are they taking the piss out of us, really? Like, is this...
Yeah, it's way too convenient.
Oh, it's way too convenient. This guy has never come up before, so we've never heard this dude. Someone gets stabbed, and it's all of a sudden like, oh, hey, I know this place, and my son works there, so let's go. And this is where Madison basically completely loses her shit. Now, this is a woman that we have slowly been drilled into us that she is kind of like the boss, that she's the one that's taking charge, and she's the one that seems to be the ultimate survivor and all that sort of stuff. And they've been trying to do it, whether you've been buying it or you've been buying it or the people listening have been buying it. I certainly haven't. But that's what they've been trying to do. They're trying to be setting her up as being the Rick of the group, basically. It hasn't worked. And now they've just completely flip-flopped on that because she goes and does two of the stupidest things you could possibly do in this situation based on some Spanish words that she heard that kind of sounded like a description of what her son might look like.
Yeah, and how she understood this, maybe she can see the subtitles?
But no, well, she had Helena there, and Helena was actually translating what was being said, but it's kind of like a gringo, like an American.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, and he had ratty hair.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
That's my fucking son.
This is the apocalypse. There's people who haven't had haircuts in months.
Exactly.
Haven't washed their hair.
Exactly.
People are looking just shit terrible.
Like Shia LaBeouf.
Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah,
exactly.
got the Shia LaBeoufs going around.
It could have been Shia LaBeouf. You don't know. But Madison has taken this, and she is basically just in a single act of complete stupidity. She has run after, I think, I don't even know what the main bad dude's name is.
I don't think there is a Who cares anyway?
Yeah, anyway, it doesn't matter. But anyway, she's kind of bust into this interrogation, and she's kind of put herself in danger. She's put Helena in danger. She's
But the whole
essentially
bloody
put
hotel?
The hotel. She's put Strand. Like, it's just... Do you really think that this is a situation where these people would have just let her go? You know, if these are the people that we think or that we're led to believe that they are, do you think they would really just kind of go, oh, well, you know, this crazy woman, she's cool though. Like, give her a shit still.
Yeah.
Still give her a medicine.
That's it. Like, they chase after her with a box full of her shit.
Yeah. So it might actually, like, that might have been played off as kind of like Helena's influence with her son, and that's kind of the only thing that saved them. But for Madison, this Rick-type leader, to do something so completely stupid is just ridiculous.
And then the stupidity doesn't end there.
It doesn't.
We get to the end of this episode, and they've all come back to the hotel.
Yep.
And Madison decides, you know what? Since we've got the generators going, how about I just fire up all the signage for this hotel?
Yeah.
Stands 50 meters tall. Everyone across the land can see it.
Yep.
This is a beacon of come and kill me.
Yeah, basically. And she's doing it because she's just so blindly sure that Nick is out there and Nick will see it, and she wants Nick to come home. And that causes Alicia to kind of, you know, lose her shit with her a bit. She's kind of like...
fucking, you're on Alicia's side with this, because even yourself,
well
you're
and
looking
truly.
at the TV and you're like, what the fuck are you doing?
Turn that fucking light off, dickhead.
Yeah.
You'll get moths.
So many moths.
Zombie moths.
Zombie moths. You don't
the
know what
worst
they
kind.
They eat your clothes.
Yeah.
They will
Fuck
eat your
them.
clothes.
And your brains.
Yeah. Clothes first, then brains.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's complete stupidity. She's doing it, you know, out of reasons that don't really make sense to the character that they've tried to build prior to that, I
exactly.
guess is what I'm trying to say. Alicia gets pissed off, and rightly so. She's kind of like, you know, am I not good enough for you kind of thing? Like, I am right here in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're trying to get us all killed for the sake of this son that you just can't fucking live without, even though he decided
Gave up
that,
on us.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly that. But that's not where it ends.
No, the convenience of this episode is so ridiculous. I want to go into the writer's room and just slap them.
Yeah, just slap them all.
Yeah, slap them as hard as I can. What happens when the lights go on? Guess who sees it?
Who?
Fucking Trevor.
Who's Trevor? Travis.
Travis.
There's probably a Trevor
Yeah,
that
Trevor.
also saw it.
Yeah.
But you'll see his story next week. But yeah, Travis. So
Travis.
you get, and this is kind of where it ends, and it ends on Travis, who is sans Chris, and we'll talk about that later in another show, that there might be a reason for that. But he is without Chris, so it looks like he's probably just sent him on his merry way.
Yeah.
They've kind of given I guarantee we'll see what happens with that next week.
Betty sneaks off in the middle of the night.
Yeah, maybe, but I think it's probably more like
Chris has left him.
Yeah, I think it's going to be more like a more emotional, and it's going to be Travis kind of letting his son go because he kind of realizes that he can't do anything to stop him anymore, and he's a lost cause. So he has to make the decision to send him on his merry way with the bros that we met from a couple episodes ago.
Yep.
What else happened? Ophelia had a little sort of story, which was kind of about as pointless as it gets.
I don't know why it was there. I didn't care. I thought, honestly, she could have got eaten.
And you wouldn't have cared. You
happier.
probably wouldn't have cared. But
Yeah.
all it really did was just, you know, it showed us that, yes, she was still alive. So there she is. She seems to be a fairly capable survivor, which, considering like probably a couple of days ago, she was willing to just give it all up because everything was just like a hopeless mess.
Yeah.
But she is a fairly sufficient survivor, and she was married and gave up she was engaged and gave up the marriage to stay with her parents, who are both now dead. So what the fuck?
Well, are they?
Well, the mother is definitely
Yeah,
dead.
the mother is dead, but what about the dad?
Daniel Salazar.
I reckon he's going to come back, eh?
He will definitely come back.
Man, the TV rules is, you know, if you don't see a dead body, they ain't dead.
Exactly. So he'll either come back, like we'll come across him randomly as a zombie.
Yeah.
But I think he'll definitely come back. The character was too much of a favorite.
Yeah, he was fantastic.
Yeah, the actor I think is even a little bit too big to kind of just brush off to
Yeah.
the side like that. I'm just getting a little bit concerned that no one has died. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel you.
This is like, this should be...
If Strand does not die from this, fucking everyone's got the Daryl unkillable curse on them.
Yeah, but think about it like this. This is set, you know, before the events of The Walking Dead. So they're kind of crossing, they say it's probably around the same time that Rick woke up in hospital.
Yeah.
There were fucking zombies everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere. And they come across them less frequently than the current people in The Walking Dead do. And I don't know why that is. And it's not because they're based like so close to like a major city or anything like that. Because these guys are in Tijuana, Mexico. That's like a heavily populated place.
I didn't really think Mexico was that heavily populated.
I've heard.
It
Yeah.
sounds like they need a Red Wedding episode.
Yeah, just
Yes.
they need that shock value.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon. Let's move on.
I was going to say, let's wrap it up. What do you rate it?
Look, for me, this was a solid. I was going to give it a 3, but I've given it a 3 like every episode so far. A 2.75.
Oh.
Yeah, I feel like they're kind of rushing into bringing everyone back without actually having anyone have done anything.
Yep.
And it's kind of like they've realized, shit, it's not working. So let's get the group back together and see if that works.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a 3. I like where it's going, but things are just getting a little bit too convenient. It's going quicker. So It's
Yeah.
not bad, but hopefully it's just building up to something pretty decent in the.
Well, let's hope
finale.
this war is this upcoming war or whatever it is
Yeah.
worth something.
It returns next week with Date of Death.
Oh, does it? Thank God.
You've got a date with death.
Oh yeah, I do. Okay, so this week for our main segment, we decided to put a spin, a focus, I guess, on the 2 returning shows this week. Very exciting for us, having had one show for however long we've had one show for. There is, of course, Gotham and Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., who have come back with a vengeance.
Hey.
Hey.
See what I did there?
Man, you're full of puns today.
Segways.
I'm the best. Segways, yeah, exactly. Let's kick it off with Gotham, which came back this week with Mad City, Better to Reign in Hell.
Fuck, man.
That's
Can I just say,
Yeah.
this episode has 2 things I really hate.
What's that?
Fish Mooney
Yeah, well, yeah, that's fair.
Let's just talk about her.
and another Bruce.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck, I saw this and I was just, I can't deal with this. This is what you're giving me on your first episode
Yeah,
back?
you poor dude. You got to put up with 2 Bruces and a Fish Mooney, and a Fish Mooney with powers.
Yeah.
and a Fish Mooney that they seem to be revolving the plot around heavily.
Can they just not?
Yeah.
Why can't you just fucking stay dead?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Oh, she probably complained.
Yeah, well, yeah. No, Will
Maybe.
Smith probably complained.
Yeah.
They want to be that DC power couple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Look, let's get to the synopsis and everything first, and we'll talk about Fish a bit later. So in this particular episode, the season premiere, Gordon plays Monster Hunter, Bruce confronts the Court of Owls, and Penguin wants Fish Mooney's head, as he should.
Yep.
As he should.
Damn straight.
Well and truly. I thought overall, if I'm going to just quickly break the whole thing down quickly, not bad.
Yeah,
I
no,
didn't
I
think
didn't
it was
mind
that
it.
bad. I liked it. I think they tried to play with a little bit too many sort of plots and subplots, to the point that it kind of got a little bit not so much confusing, but it was kind of like, okay, where are we now?
It's a bit
So who's
jumpy.
doing? Yeah, it was
Jumpy.
jumping all over the place.
Yeah, I can see that. The only reason they would do that is because this is a season premiere, so they've got to set up these little subplots to branch off throughout the
Yeah,
season.
but do you have to do that all in the first episode? Because you could ease people into it rather than just going, oh, hey, here's every plot point we're going to use for this season,
Yeah.
and let's see where the chips fall.
Because if someone didn't see a specific plot that they wanted in the first episode, they're probably going to be like, okay, well, maybe next episode.
Yeah.
Like they don't expect to see everything in the first one.
Well, exactly right. Like that at some point Doppelganger Bruce is going to come back.
Yeah, that's right.
But Doppelganger Bruce doesn't have to come back in the first episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
I wasn't expecting to see him.
yeah,
at all.
well, no, neither was I. And then you've got your other little subplots of the Penguin and Barbara Gordon and like all this,
doing the power
and
struggle.
Butch and Tabitha and all this sort of stuff that probably didn't need to happen. But I just think it got a little bit convoluted at times. But yeah, it was all right. Bit jumbled.
yeah,
Yeah.
it was a little bit jumbled. Hey, what did you think of the new Jim Gordon?
I liked him.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He was a bit more oomph.
yeah,
Yeah.
I think a bit more oomph.
I felt like a little bit of OC.
Yeah, and I loved it. Holy fuck.
What's that guy's name? Ryan.
Yeah,
Ryan.
Yeah, Ryan Seacrest.
No.
I also enjoyed it. I think it gives Ben McKenzie a little bit more room to move.
Yeah.
I don't know why they're kind of embellishing so much with the story of him not being a cop, though.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing is like, at some point he's going to be Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
But it's kind of, I guess they were almost building to that too quickly, and they kind of had to pull back a little bit. So it's kind of like, let's get him off the police force and get him onto the street. He'll be able to do, whatever he wants with the character, have a little bit more fun with it. He doesn't have to be so straight-laced and by the book. He's kind of said that, protecting Gotham isn't his problem now. All he wants to do is essentially make money.
Yeah.
Have a good time.
Bounty hunter.
Exactly.
What else do you do but make money?
Yeah, that's right. He's making
Fuck shit up.
Yeah, making some sweet bank.
Yeah.
Loving it. And is it just me, or did it look like we got an early look, like an early stage look at Killer Croc in this episode?
Yeah, no, I thought so, coming out of the van.
Yeah, I think they have... I don't know if they've confirmed it. But from what I've read, it kind of seems to be yes.
Like a little wink at it?
It's not even a wink. I think
it's legit.
Yeah, I think they've kind of said, yes, this is Killer Croc, but this is Killer Croc in his earlier stages.
Right.
So he hasn't quite mutated to the point that he's Killer Croc that you'll see in Suicide Squad, say.
Yeah.
Because that, with Arrow had to drop the Suicide Squad characters and all that sort of stuff. So they can only use the prequel versions of these characters.
Yeah.
So this is an early version of Killer Croc, which, mind you, it's kind of annoying because this whole show, and the problem that I have with this whole show is I may go off on a rant. I'm going to try not to. But
Let's reel him in.
Reel me in if I go too crazy. But the whole thing that I dislike is that they are so desperate to have a Batman in this show. They build that around Jim Gordon, and so Jim Gordon is essentially like this guy that is, he's just a dude,
Normal guy.
He's just a cop that is essentially going toe to toe with some high level metahumans that effectively Batman or even the Flash or something like that would struggle to deal with.
Absolutely.
And he's just a dude with a stick.
Yeah, and he's not real effective with it. At all in some instances.
Well, in some instances he's not, but in some instances he kicks the shit out of these people.
Which
and
isn't...
I'm not saying that the character of Commissioner Gordon is a wimp, but I think that this is just, the show is just desperate to have its central, Batmanish type character.
Yeah.
And it can't do it with Bruce because they made Bruce a skinny friggin' 12-year-old kid.
Though, this episode, he was pretty badass.
No, he wasn't.
What did he do?
I thought he was.
What did he do?
When he went up against his board, like, fuck you, and then was like, bam, I'm out, Alfred, let's get pancakes.
Well,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
So-
I will give you
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah.
verbally he was
Yeah.
a badass.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Not all things are physical now.
Well, yeah, there's a mental game involved
Yeah.
at times. It's like chess
yeah.
until chess turns physical.
And they throw pieces at each other.
Actually, that takes me to my next question is we've got our first, I guess, real look at the Court of Owls.
Yeah.
What'd you think?
Big dislike.
Big
Yeah.
dislike?
Yeah.
Is it because it is a new take on it?
I guess my problem with it is they've done it too early. They've done it too early, and they've done it like this. This probably isn't a situation where Bruce will be the one who takes them down.
Yes.
It's
Well,
probably
he can't. He's bloody 12.
exactly. It's going to be a situation where Alfred or friggin' Jim Gordon or someone is going to come in and they're going to save the day, and he'll probably play his part and all that sort of stuff. But this is like one of Batman's greatest sort of
You would say foes. Or
it's one of his biggest tests. Like
Yeah.
if you've read Court of the Owls, like he goes through hell and back, and this is Batman, fully grown Batman. So I really don't see how they play it well if they're going to use a 12-year-old kid.
Well, do you think they'll replace that with Jim Gordon, like you were saying, as their Batman type figure?
Well, that's kind of what I think will happen. I think it won't even necessarily be Bruce who saves the day, which doesn't work because this is really supposed to be the biggest test of his life. I just don't see how it works when he is still a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, do you think they need to drop this whole Batman arc? It's not really a Batman arc, but drop the hints towards it. Drop the Batman stories. Make this a Gordon show. This is Gotham after all, where the show is about the city. This show is not about producing Batman.
Yeah, but that's what they've made it though.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. Do you think they need to start moving away from that?
I think it's too late
Yeah.
now. I think that's the way they should have gone in the first place. It should have been like a police drama,
Yes.
Yeah.
right? With some sort of homages to the Batman storyline and stuff like that. So your main characters are Jim Gordon and Harvey Bullock or whatever, and then there's little things that pop up all over the place. But you're using literally every single Batman villain you can find.
Yep.
You're using Catwoman, you're using Poison Ivy. You're using Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
And you're giving little hints to him becoming Batman. And I just you're right. Like I think it would be better if they didn't.
What would actually make this show better is if Batman was in it.
Or just do that.
It would.
Yeah.
Just have Batman. Don't even have him in the show. Just have him in the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these
like
guys
little
are
glimpses of him here and there or
that's
whatever.
it.
Yeah.
He might do like the Superman approach. Maybe that's happening in Supergirl. He's in there for maybe 2 or 3 episodes, but Jim Gordon's gone around busting the guys before Batman has to.
Yeah, or it's kind of like a sort of the original Batman movie with Michael Keaton sort of thing, where it's that the Bat is going around and it's doing these things and all that sort of stuff, but it's the machinations of the world around it.
Yeah.
Before you actually really get to see Batman, and then it becomes a Batman story. But yeah, something like that where he plays in the background, he plays as a background character, maybe pops up a little bit to keep the fans happy, but then they do the rest.
Yeah.
That would have been a much better approach.
Instead of having them all as kids, because you really, really limit yourself to what you can do.
Yep.
Well, hopefully they do have a plot device this season that they might go down this route, because we see that Fish Mooney has a metahuman that can aid you.
Yeah.
Yes.
And this is exactly what they're doing with Poison
Ivy.
Ivy. Yep. Which we'll see probably in the next episode.
Yep.
So yeah, that's that it's very unlikely. I really don't think they're going to move past David Mazouz's Bruce Wayne. I think they should, but they won't.
They should.
Yeah.
What do you think is happening with this clone of him?
I have no idea what he's doing. Oh, he could be like, what's his name? Brother thinks he's the brother of Thomas.
Yes.
What's his
Lincoln March.
Yes, that's him.
Yeah. So one of the theories that are out there is that this doppelganger of Bruce actually, becomes the pseudonym of Lincoln March.
Yeah.
Or adopts the pseudonym, I should say, of Lincoln March, who reveals himself later on down the track as Thomas Wayne Jr., so Bruce Wayne's brother, and he eventually goes on to become Owlman and a leader of the Court of Owls. Not a leader, but one of their lead assassins or whatever. That's probably the way they will go, again, doing it with kids.
I feel like it's a long journey, though.
It is. And
it's going to be tedious.
Yeah.
It is, and this is why I don't like Bruce in this show.
Yeah.
He's not needed. Anytime he's on screen, it's always a drag, in my opinion.
I wouldn't say a drag, but
it's not as riveting, I guess.
Yeah.
There's just only so much they can do with them,
exactly.
based on the fact that it's a character.
Like I feel like his biggest problem is what's Alfred cooking me for dinner tonight?
Yeah. But then you've got to give props to the younger version of Alfred, because we've all said it before, he's one of the best things of the show.
Absolutely.
I love him.
And that's something.
Right. I do.
Yeah, okay.
He's probably my favourite. Jim Gordon's up there.
Yeah, between the two of them. Maybe they could have a buddy sitcom or something.
They could do a buddy cop show together.
That'd be awesome.
That can be Gotham Bounty Hunters. New reality show coming at you.
Gotham Bounty Hunters.
Watch out, Keeping Up with the Kardashians.
I think, though, you've got to give him his props as Alfred. That really works.
Yeah, definitely.
Doesn't work with everyone. Here's something else that probably will not work. Now, there are theories surrounding Barbara Gordon. And the theories are that she is effectively going to be this show's version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
God, no.
You can see it happening. They've kind of already hinted that maybe we've already done her and she just hasn't sort of transformed yet or anything like that. Who else would be it if not her?
Yeah.
And that really seems to be the way they're playing it. Please don't.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah.
If you're listening, please don't. Please.
Yeah, because it's always going to feel like a cheap secondhand version of it.
Well, exactly, yeah. And, it might still be like the prequel version of the Suicide Squad version of Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
But man, just leave
But
it.
it's a completely different storyline.
Yeah.
Well, and the whole reason why this has kind of come about is based on the goings on of her and Tabitha, and then she obviously, like I guess when you look at their club,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And their club is called Sirens.
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe.
Yeah.
Isn't
Okay.
that like just a bit on the nose?
Yeah, right. So, it's kind of obviously, referencing the Gotham City Sirens, which obviously includes Poison Ivy, Catwoman, and Harley Quinn. We've already seen what could potentially be their version of Harley Quinn. We
Yeah.
know Poison Ivy's coming back.
Yep. And we got Selena Kyle running
Selena
around.
Kyle runs
Yep.
around, and she was spending time at the bar.
Yep.
Like I
That's
can
a
only
really
make
good,
noises.
really
Yeah.
good
Yeah.
reaction.
So, because I just do not want that to happen. There was
It
news.
will,
There was
though.
news that what's her name, Margot Robbie, was potentially
Producing a Gotham City Sirens movie.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd
Jesus,
like to
please.
see it on the big screen. I like all three characters.
Yep.
I think it would be great on the big screen. Just leave it for Gotham, man.
Yeah, that's it.
They don't need it.
No, they don't. They don't. Okay, let's move on. What do you rate the show, Amy? What was this episode? Series opener.
Yeah, see, now I binge watched like the whole thing in one go, so it's hard to. But I will give it. I'm going to give it like a 3.5.
Yeah?
Yeah, 3.5.
So since you've seen the other seasons so recently, do you think it's better or?
I liked the shift in Jim Gordon. That was probably one of the really standout sort of points. There wasn't too much else in it that really tickled my fancy.
Yeah.
Fish Mooney, like, just fuck off already.
What's the opposite of tickling your fancy?
Whatever that is, that's what
Shanking.
she made me feel. But yeah, 3.5. I reckon it was. I think it was a bit jumpy as well.
Yeah.
Even like with going back and forth between what are they called? Vale, not Vicky Vale now.
Oh, Valerie Vale, which we didn't even talk.
yeah,
about.
so she's in there now too, and like they have introduced a few new concepts, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Can I just say, I think that will work well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so do I.
I
think
liked
Valerie
her.
Vale will
I
work
liked
well in
her.
the show. I like where it's going, and it's obviously going to be, like a good sort of
It's going to be a little click between.
her and
Jim
Jimmy.
Gordon.
yeah,
Jimmy
I
Gordon.
liked the chemistry there.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
good.
What'd you rate it?
Look, I gave it probably like a 3.75.
Okay.
Out of 5. It probably loses points, because I actually enjoyed it. Like I
Yeah.
thought it was a good start. It had some really good moments. It doesn't sound like it sometimes in the way we talk, but there were some really good points. I agree with you with what they've done with Jim. I think Valerie Vale is good. Penguin is also,
Oh yeah.
again, someone that we didn't talk about, loses points for being a little bit too jumbled.
Yeah.
So trying to throw a little bit too much in there. I like the fact they're going a little bit more comic-y in their referencing, which is good. But Fish Mooney, man, her story was done when Penguin killed her in season 1.
Yeah, I agree.
I think they should have left her. But whatever. It's Jada Pinkett Smith. It's too big a star to not have in your show, I think.
It's a
So
draw
whatever.
card.
It
Yeah.
is a draw card, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I'm going to give it 3.5. I really don't like this Fish Mooney story where it's going, how it's basically going to revolve around her trying to stabilize her ability so she can just keep using them.
I hope she uses
Yeah.
it so much that she dies.
Oh, wouldn't that be bloody fantastic?
God, it would be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, 3.5.
Yeah.
It's not a bad start, in my opinion. Everyone's got a good little launching platform.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to see where it goes for the rest of the season.
Yeah, me too.
Me 3.
Now, that's going to take us to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. This is also a season premiere.
Yes.
Episode titled The Ghost.
Oh, what could that mean?
Oh, I don't know.
Oh, let me explain. The team is split. Daisy is still underground, and there's a hot-headed new player on the scene.
Hot-headed.
Yeah.
Ghost,
Damn.
hot-headed.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, we'll get
Nicolas
into it.
Cage is in this episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
In spirit.
I probably would have turned it
Oh,
off.
in spirit of vengeance. perhaps.
Oh my God! Stop with the
see.
puns.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to throw some questions at you.
Okay, go.
What do you think of the new tone? Because this has got that new time slot, so they can get a little bit more violent.
Gory. There was a lot more gore, which I liked.
Yeah, just in that first 5 minutes, the blood just splatting on the side of that car.
Yeah, and in his face, in his eyes. And didn't they say that he pulled the spine out of one of the people?
They
Yes.
did.
Yes.
Like, damn.
Yeah, I liked it.
Me too.
I think it's good. Obviously, we spoke earlier about how it did hurt the show with its new time slot. Hopefully, again, that is just people not actually knowing that it's on.
Yeah.
10 p.m. people. I don't know if that's
Watch
like Eastern
it.
Standard Time or Western
However.
Pacific. Is that a thing? I don't even know
Who
time
knows?
zones. Sorry, guys.
No, it's central.
10 p.m.
Yeah.
Specific time.
Yes.
Anyway, okay, then I've got a question for you guys then.
Go.
What did you guys think? Because we can talk about it now. It's out there. I did really appreciate the fact that they got to the Ghost Rider so quickly. I thought it was good, like not sort of dragging it out through the whole sort of episode or, through a few episodes before we actually get to meet him.
I was thinking we were going to see the episode start, everyone, we catch up on all their stories, and then bam, Ghost Rider at the end.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, probably work, but I'll be a little bit disappointed. And then he's in like the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, I think they've kind of, you look at all the promo work that they've done, they've kind of really heavily sort of revolved it around the Ghost Rider. So it's good that they kind of like just threw it out there really quickly.
Yeah, I liked it.
What did you guys think is my question?
I thought it was bloody amazing.
Me too.
He looks unreal.
He does look good.
This looks better than the movie versions. And
Yes.
this is TV budget.
Yeah.
And I know it's a different time, but it's not that far away from the previous Ghost Rider movie.
Yeah, when did Spirit of Vengeance come out? Like 2011, I want to say.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago. And
5
this,
years.
this looks unreal. His head. Oh my
It
gosh.
was,
head.
it was hot.
It was
So
so
hot.
hot. Hot-headed. No,
But yeah,
I
no.
really enjoyed him.
Yeah. What about you?
Oh, same. Yeah,
Yeah?
same. I think if there are people there that are going to sit back and they're going to like pick on this, I know there are people that are going to do it. I know you're out there.
Is it going to be this CGI at the start?
I don't know, but there
The
are
car blowing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
there are always people that will not be happy. I think for what we get in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and I think what we get for their budget and all that sort of stuff, I think it's cool, man.
That's
Yeah.
crazy.
I think
good.
it looked really good. And again, I'm glad that they brought it in so quickly.
Yeah, because then we got to see a little bit of Robbie Reyes as well,
Exactly.
like his personal life, and not just bam, here's Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Like,
They
in
did.
your face.
They played on that a bit more as well. Which
It was
is
good. The way they did his backstory, and I know we'll probably go into it more later in the season, but they kind of gave us a really good, quick rundown on who he is.
yeah, they did.
Yeah.
You know, it showed his brother.
Yep.
Gabe.
It shows that he's not in control of who he is.
Yeah.
He doesn't make the rules.
Yes, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually references that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember what the actual
She
line
says,
is, but
why do you get to decide who dies? And then he says, I'm not the one making the decision, or something like that.
yeah. And then he turns, and it was the coolest
Oh,
fucking part
man.
of the
His
show.
eyes and his face melting off.
Yeah.
Man.
It was so good.
That's
What do you say?
fantastic.
Stick a fork in me. I'm done.
Yeah.
So moving on from the Ghost Rider thing, then, even though that does heavily play within the show and the whole thing, the whole team has gone through a really big reshuffle.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we know we've got a new director, even though we don't know who said director is
He sounds
yet.
like a dick, though.
Does sound like a dick.
I think he sounds like a guy who's got his head screwed on, guys.
Oh.
He's all about. He's all.
Trying to look
Get
at him
out.
trying to suck up to the director.
Hey man, I'm a level indigo. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Because there's no levels anymore, guys. We're
There's
all
colours,
colours,
yeah.
and we all mix together to make it more
Orange
colours.
makes what? Red and yellow? I don't know.
yeah,
I was
something like
that
that.
was
Yeah,
bullshit.
I don't understand primary colors or secondary colors. I am fuchsia, wherever that gets me. Probably into the basement.
Fantastic.
Cool.
Yep. So there's a new director. We haven't met him yet. We'll probably meet him / her. You don't know. They have said him, but
It's
that
him.
doesn't necessarily mean anything,
Oh man, if it was a woman, that'd be awesome.
wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would be.
Equality in the workplace.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Gender diversity.
Obviously, doesn't give a shit about the old team.
No.
Which is going to make a whole new dynamic.
Well,
which
no,
will be
he
interesting.
he does care about the old team, and he's purposely split them up to keep them away from each other.
Well, who's in
it's
charge?
actually even said in the episode.
Simmons
loves
is in
them
charge
so
now.
much.
So that's weird. I found that weird.
Yeah, that is weird.
That she's like the go-to, but whatever.
But she kind of said that she worked her ass off to get there.
So she could have a bit of sway.
Yeah, so she could try her hardest to keep tracks or tabs on everybody and make sure they basically stay safe. Mac and Coulson, that's a good team up.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good
How
team
cool
up.
is his arm? Looking through the bloody
Oh yes, his new
truck.
hand.
Yeah, he's got the new gadgets in there.
It's pretty super.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, like super soldiery.
No, Troy.
Oh, here we go.
Hey,
Flashbacks.
You don't know.
It's just a bloody hand.
Whatever. Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cool. I'm interested to see what else his hand can do as the show progresses.
Yep.
So, what's his name? The other kid, Fitz.
Oh, yeah.
So he meets Radcliffe's Ada.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So interestingly,
Very interesting. Oh, man. What movie just only... Ex Machina. That's what this reminded me of.
Oh yeah.
Like, down to a T.
Except she had full skin.
Yeah, not just like weird...
Yeah, like weird like face skin.
Yeah,
what did
it's like-
she have? In
she had, like,
Machina?
face-
Like she had
face and, like,
arms,
torso.
top
And that-
boobs.
Yeah.
She had top boob area.
Yeah, top boob and legs. And
Yeah.
but not full arms.
No, she didn't have full arms.
Yeah.
Anyway,
The skin budget was obviously pretty low
Yeah,
in
they
that
had a
movie.
low-
They spent
had
it
a low
all
skin.
on...
they spent it all on Oscar Isaac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, what do you think? This is our first look at LMDs, so life model decoys.
Yeah.
I'm very interested to see how this is actually going to play off into the season.
Yeah.
Well, it's already making some sort of doubts, I guess, with how it's going to go because they're not telling everybody. Like, they're not telling Simmons.
They know that morally
It's wrong.
Yeah.
it's probably
and,
towing the line.
Radcliffe was told not to do any of this anymore. And he's like, well, fuck the system. I'm going to do it anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm getting off on a technicality anyway.
And I think within the comic book scheme of things, LMDs eventually, like, they become quite common, but they do develop some sort of sense of awareness, and they start to question their belonging and their sort of status within, human society and all that sort of stuff. So, it's very much a Skynet-y type of
Yeah,
thing.
it is. I was just thinking that.
And I actually like the reference to they say, no, this isn't going to be an Ultron thing again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he does. That was cool.
Well,
there were a lot of good things. What else can we talk about? We can talk about Daisy.
We can talk
yeah.
about Daisy.
What's going on with her bones, yo?
Oh.
Is she going to just snap her arm off and be a cyborg as well?
She's Mr. Glass.
Yeah, no, what happens with her, the more she uses her powers, the more it damages her body because her body isn't built
So
for the
she's
powers.
Fish Mooney from Gotham.
Oh my God,
that
what
what
is
you're saying?
going on here?
But, I mean, she's putting out a lot of seismic energy, so obviously.
Well, yeah, that is, but she also has those gloves. And
Yeah.
I don't know if she actually has the right gloves with her at the moment
Yeah, maybe.
because maybe that's...
Well, she had to take the pills to mend her bones.
Is that... Yeah, that's
So-
right. I thought she was just getting on the juice, you know?
Yeah,
no,
she was just that was steroids.
Rodriguez? Yo-yo.
Yo-yo.
Gave her the tablets.
Yeah. So obviously, she's quite deep within this whole vigilantism and all that sort of
She
stuff.
looked
So
really dark
Yeah.
in this episode.
Yeah. So, and they're all going to try to play to this later time slot, I think, and they're going to play on all the characters a little bit. But yeah, we'll see.
Actually, you know what was really, really interesting? Sorry to interrupt.
No, you go.
With Daisy here is that she was prepared to let the Ghost Rider
That's
kill
what
her.
I was just going to say. I was like, what do you think about that? Like, and he was like, no, you want to die. I'm not going to kill you.
Yeah.
Negative.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting.
There's a subplot to that, surely, because when last season finished, she did not seem to be in that place at all.
No.
Yeah, not at all. But I think it's good. I think it's good that she is, she is heavily within this Ghost Rider storyline, and I think that's how it's all going to, piece it back together. Obviously, there's this mysterious box that's like floating around that's got some sort of
Ghost thing.
weird thing within it,
And
that
it's
causes
in-
people to go crazy.
It's in May now.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, they now have control of the box back at Shield headquarters. Oh no, it's in her.
It's
That's
in
right.
her.
Yeah,
Yeah, no,
so,
I'm saying like
yeah.
the last scene is her seeing all the creepy shit.
That's right. So the talk on the town is that it is potentially another spirit of vengeance. So the same sort of thing that takes over the Ghost Riders, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting to see how that plays out. Interesting to see how it all comes together. But I think it'll be good. Apparently, Ghost Rider is within Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to help them kind of come towards Doctor Strange.
Oh, so like
okay.
more of the mystical element.
Yeah, so they're kind of trying to bring in the mysticism to make it make more sense for when Doctor Strange comes out.
That does work. That's quite good.
It's a good tie-in.
I've got a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Do you think Mephisto controls this Ghost Rider's powers?
Well, he says someone does. So
Maybe.
maybe. I think probably.
Yeah, well, the important thing about Mephisto is he actually plays quite a role in the Infinity War storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
So this show goes backwards and forwards with the I guess the movies.
Yeah.
To an extent. So are we going to see the first from TV to big screen?
Maybe not.
I feel like Mephisto is a weird one to do that with.
I don't know enough about the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider to really sort of get sort of... Oh, do you mean... Wait, are you talking about the Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider spirit, or are you talking about the spirit in the box?
No. The who controls Robbie Reyes.
Right.
Well, isn't
Yeah,
it
I
the
got no idea.
same... It's the same spirit that was in Johnny Blaze?
No.
No.
No,
Okay.
different.
It is a
Oh.
different one.
Okay, yep. That one started with Z or something, didn't it?
Zool from
Zool.
Ghostbusters.
Anyway.
Anyway, if anybody out there does know the answer to that question or thinks they have a theory behind it, let us know.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to some rating. What do you rate it, Amy?
I'm going to give it a 4.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Damn.
I really loved it.
Yeah, it was good.
I just liked... There wasn't a moment where I wasn't interested. I guess I was always waiting to see what was happening, especially that first 10 minutes. I was just like drawn in. I'm like, everyone shut up, stop talking.
Yeah.
I want to watch this happen.
Yeah, for
So-
sure.
Yeah. What about yourself there, Troy?
Yeah, I would also give it a 4. I think really, really, really good work with the Ghost Rider. Interesting to see where it all comes together.
Yeah.
You?
I'm going to give it 4 as well. I mean, this is the best show on TV at the moment.
Yeah.
So far.
So far. And well, it did it even last season, you know, out of all the shows that we had, that it was a very high performer towards the end, and it's going.
It's kind of between that and The Flash, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. No, don't you mean Arrow? Because Arrow's like
Oh,
really...
no, yeah. It was between Arrow and season 1 of Supergirl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two were standouts
Yeah.
for TV last year.
My ears, please stop.
No, but I gave it 4 out of 5. Really good. I'm excited to see where this season goes. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. returns next week with Meet the New Boss.
Yeah.
That sound means it's time for Comic of the Week, an all-new segment where we review, recommend, and rate a brand new comic release from the previous couple of weeks.
That's right. And the comic of the week is brought to you by Kasplat Comics and Collectibles. For all your comic and pop culture needs, visit kasplatcomics.com.au, or you can check them out on Facebook and Twitter. We'll leave you a link in the show notes.
Okay, comic of the week this week is Trinity #1, written by Francis Manapul, with art also by Francis Manapul, and published by DC Comics under their Rebirth title. So DC has done some stellar work since the launch of its Rebirth initiative, but let's be honest here, it was only a matter of time before DC's top 3 got their own ongoing title. Now Francis Manapul, best known for his work on The Flash and Detective Comics, gets his opportunity to bring the Trinity to the comic book landscape as writer and artist, and he's off to a flying start. Set almost purely around the Kent family dinner table, Trinity gives us some insight into the growing relationships between Batman, Wonder Woman, and the all-new Superman, as well as their story narrator Lois Lane and her son Jonathan. Bruce doesn't trust the new Clark, Diana has lost her way home, Clark meanwhile is cautious and is untrusting of the other two heroes as much as they are of him. As the night progresses, friendships slowly start to reform, all while Lois sums it up perfectly in her narrative. With enough patience and understanding, their friendship can grow into something greater. I believe in them. Together, they can break down any wall. While the story is minimal, it's Manapul's art that is the clear winner here. Each character is introduced in a giant double-page spread that feature each of their insignia in such a subtle yet dramatic way, the reader can be excused for missing it on first look. Now, Trinity serves as a fantastic reintroduction to DC's most famous trio, and with great character work and some exceptional art, this is a series that will no doubt receive a very warm reception from old fans and newcomers alike. I'll give it 4.25 batarangs out of 5.
Is that the Superman from another time?
Another
Like
space?
another world, or
Yeah.
like another dimension?
Correct.
But he came to this one and didn't do anything because there's already the Superman there.
No, but Superman is dead.
Yeah, Superman's now dead, so
Yeah.
he's come out to fill the role.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially. Very much exactly the same sort of storyline even. Like almost like conveniently, looks exactly like him, has the same
Yes.
power set, all that sort of stuff. But DC Rebirth Superman is actually one of the best comics going around right now.
I have to check that out.
Yeah, you do.
Sounds cool as shit.
Yeah, Trinity number 1, by the way, get into it.
Get it into you.
And that's going to do it for another episode.
We are
Innit?
done.
We are done.
Skis.
Stay tuned next week as we talk. You ready?
Ready?
The best on-screen or live-action Superman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah, since we had such a good reaction to the Batman and
Joker.
Robin, I was going to say Joker.
Yeah.
We thought we'll do Superman
Yeah.
and Lex.
Superman and Lex.
Because why
Get
not?
them in there.
So get on the Twitters, on the Facebooks, whatever, and let us know who your favorite is. Keep in mind, we do keep these things to 4 characters apiece, so there will be some that don't quite make the cut.
So you have to deal with it.
So you're going to have to understand that if your favorite is Dean Cain, he may not make the list.
But he's definitely making the list.
But he's definitely making the list. Or is he? You'll have to wait until next week.
Damn, man, why you got to play me like that?
Yeah, that's what I do.
You're a player.
Yeah. Let's thank some people.
Yes, let's thank the listeners, the subscribers, and the reviewers.
All of them.
All of them.
Every
All of
single
you
one of you.
people.
We
All
love
of you people help the show grow.
Did you know that?
Did you? Because if you didn't, I want to applaud you.
If you want to applaud them if they didn't know.
If they didn't know. No,
Yeah.
but I want to applaud them that they're doing it.
Oh, yes. Without actually knowing that it's helping the show.
Yes, that's
Oh,
what I'm getting
right.
to.
Very good. Okay, yes.
Understand.
I also now want to applaud you as well. Yeah.
Tell a friend about us.
Yeah. Tell a friend. Tell a family member.
Tell your taxi driver.
Hey, that's
yeah.
great. Taxi drivers can listen to us all day.
They can.
Hey, actually, they can. It's
And they
true.
love it.
That's a really good hot tip there, Amy.
Yep.
That should be a new segment of the show, Amy's Hot Tips.
Amy's.
Wow.
Wait.
I'd have so many hot tips. You guys.
Well, yeah. So anyway, moving on. Facebook is a thing. We are on it. Comic Confidential Podcast, Instagram and Twitter at Comic Con Pod, and YouTube at search Comic Confidential and hit subscribe.
Yeah. We also have a Snapchat.
Yes, we do.
Now, I'm not getting a lot of love on Snapchat, so I want anybody, all of you, everyone, to send me a video of your matchup that
Whoa.
you think.
Whoa.
Do it.
Send her a
Careful what you
video
ask for.
of your match up.
Obviously, I mean Superman and Lex Luthor.
Yeah. So,
Not just your general matchup.
Yeah.
Let's not get that.
like
Let's
your,
not get ahead
like
of
your
ourselves.
dick and balls matchup.
Hot tips matchups.
Yeah. So, careful what you ask for on the internet, Amy. Jesus Christ.
Sorry, you guys.
We've also got a website. That's comicconpod.com. If you want to jump on and support the show, we've got the Patreon. That's patreon.com/comicconpod. Just a heads up, we are going to be doing a movie commentary soon on Deadpool. And if you want to listen to that, you have to be a Patreon member. It's only going to cost you $1, 25 cents a week
Wow, 25 cents a week for 4 weeks,
for 4 weeks,
but then recurring.
then recurring. And then you get another movie commentary because we're going to do that shit monthly.
Oh, yeah, cool. Well, there you go. I don't even know how any of this works.
I'm telling you the rules.
Yeah. I'll give you $1.
Okay.
Yep. All right. We also have a loot crate. Did you say that?
No, I didn't.
Did I miss that? No, we have
No.
a loot crate.
Yeah.
It's lootcrate.com/ComicConPod. I don't even know what it is.
Just
No.
search Comic Con Pod. Loot
Actually, I have to
Crate.
see if I've even got that authorized
We'll
yet.
leave a link in the show notes for you guys. And the last and the biggest news, of course, is that we are the Comic Confidential Network, and we have such fabulous shows under the network as Comic Confidential, this one that you're listening to right now, and another one called The Advisory Podcast, hosted by James and Todd, who are a great couple of kids, men. They're actually men. They're fully grown men that have an advice podcast that is funny as fuck. I was going to say fantastic, then funny.
Funny.
Fantastic.
It's a new word.
Yeah.
You should patent that.
Anyway, it's good, is
It's
what
good.
I'm trying to get at.
Especially if you have friends who are addicted to Tic Tacs. This will help.
Oh, yeah. Everyone's juicing on the Tic Tacs. Yeah.
Just the hard stuff.
I'm tacking hard.
Tacking
Oh.
hard. So make sure you jump onto comicconpod.com and have a listen to all of our episodes and a lot of theirs as well. And all future episodes will be on there. And everyone will be happy, I guess.
Happy days.
Happy days.
Right?
We should put that into our TV show lineup.
Happy days.
Yeah.
God.
I would rather shoot myself in the face. Honestly.
You are so rude.
Yeah, okay, so that's never going to happen. What else is... That's it?
That's
It's
it.
done.
Oh, that's it. I guess thanks for listening, you guys. As always, I am Troy.
I'm Kade.
And I'm Amy.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Peace.
See ya.
See ya. # Kade and Amy are dickheads.